Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to the True Telling Podcast with Miss Keeping It Real. Today, I have a special guest that's going to interview me today, and her name is Kendra Lee Jackson.
I'm really honored to do it because I feel like the city that we live in, like Baton Rouge, everybody thinks they know everybody. So when you hear about people, it's like, oh, I know her, but people in Baton Rouge don't know how to say, I know who that is.
Right.
So hopefully at the end of this interview, they can really know Miss Keeping It Real.
Let's get it.
Okay, well, first things first, tell them a little bit about yourself. Like, where you from, where you was born, raised.
Well, my name is Henrietta Curtis. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Um, I have two kids, one son, one daughter. My son got murdered in 2021. I have five grandkids, whole bunch of sisters, whole bunch of brothers, whole bunch of nieces and nephews.
Okay. Okay, so what part of town you grew up in?
The field.
The field? How
The
was
field.
it?
It wasn't too much. So basically I grew up in the field, but I would sometimes go visit or stay with my aunt that I say raised me in Banks.
Okay,
So
but like as a child, who was Henrietta? Who was him? How was she? How was the young Henrietta?
I can't remember my childhood. I can't remember when I was a child, like 0 all the way up. I can remember going to maybe fourth, remember up to fourth grade.
Oh wow! Is there a reason for that, or you just don't remember?
I don't know the reason, and it used to worry me to want to find out, but when I got locked in with God, I let it go because if He wanted me to remember, I will remember. But it was my childhood wasn't, from what I can remember, it wasn't what I wanted it to be at the time, and I say that because I learned by being a parent and a grandmother that some people can only give you as good as they got.
That's a good answer. Okay, so from the time that you can remember, just
Mhm.
say middle school,
Mhm.
Henrietta, what was she like?
Horrible. Terrible.
What did you do?
Beat a bitch up. That was me. I was horrible. I went to I can remember high school a lot. I went to Capitol High, Glen Oaks High, Terra High, Estruma High, Baker High, and Glen Oaks High. All high school.
Four
I was
years.
terrible. Yeah.
Oh, you
No,
had did you go to that many because you were getting put out?
all of them. I was horrible.
Okay, so we got that Henrietta.
Hmm.
So a young adult.
Young adult, I was still wild. I was wilder. As a young adult, I would go to jail, fight,
Oh, I know.
argue, cuss. I won't fight your mom. I won't fight your daddy. I was horrible. I was, you know how some people change and God changed people. They say they forget about who they were, or they want other people to think that they was never that person. I was her, and God made me a better virgin now. So I was horrible.
Okay, let's say about your 30s. What was
30s.
that Henrietta
I was still going to jail, still boosting, still didn't give a fuck about nobody.
like? Did you party a lot?
Party,
Still
yeah.
party?
I was partying. I was at Club Dreams. I was at clubs. Every club, any club in Baton Rouge and some out of town, I was there. Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, I was going out.
And at this time, you had both of your kids by your 30s.
Yeah, I had both my kids. Yeah.
Okay. What about the men you dated? Like, I'm not saying names, like, but what
Um,
type of men? Like, what was life like in the
with a,
household? Your kids.
mm,
The,
I was just dating. I was dating. I was dating other people men and other people husband. I mean, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't. But I did get in a relationship with the first relationship that I stayed in the longest was the relationship with my daughter's father. That was like 8 years.
Okay, so you were kind of maturing at
Kind
that
of.
time,
Yeah, but
becoming
yeah.
domesticated a little, but
Yeah.
still just hadn't fully transitioned.
Mhm.
Okay, so when would you say that you did transition to a more settled lifestyle,
Mm.
uh, like more serious relationships, more serious with uh, being active with your children?
Um, I want to say around the age of 40 something.
What's your point?
Yeah, about 40s. I had a serious relationships, but first, I want to say maybe with my first marriage, I was probably a little more. I love him. I want to be with him, but that's how I felt then. But I think it just was the point in my life, still coming from where I came from and still looking for love. I think I just kind of wanted a man or a husband. I just wanted, I don't think I married for the right reasons.
Okay, well, do you do you remember anything significant that may have happened in your life that made you think you need to settle down or make a change or
Yeah,
change your life?
yeah. That was long ago though. That wasn't long ago. I mean, it's true. It wasn't long ago. What made me change my life to settle down, to be, to love myself, to know I didn't need someone to love me, to put me first, God first, and then me. It's when my from my second divorce. That's what really made me say, God say to me, it's like I can hear him say, it's time for you to get yourself together.
Okay, do you want to talk about it?
Oh yeah, I'm open to talk about anything.
Okay, well, what happened? What happened, and how was that relationship when you all first got together?
My second
The second marriage.
my second marriage, it
I
was
mean, the
it was
beginning.
the beginning, it was good. It was also good.
Are we gonna tell them how it started?
Oh yeah, we was working together and he was staying with a woman and we was all working at the same place. Yeah, you gonna get thirsty, huh? Yeah, we was all working at the same place, and I wasn't her friend, but she worked it at the same place. So we started messing around. I had a husband. The guy was messing with the woman that worked at the job. It went so fast, and I thought I was head over heels. And we moved. I went to her house and packed him up, and we moved on over there to my house. And I put my ex-husband out. I divorced him. 2 months later, I married the guy. What it was, 2 years later, he did me the same thing I did him. Packed this shit up and went with somebody else. So you get back what you do.
And that's what started you understanding that you needed to love yourself and not
Myself.
look for love from other
Myself.
people.
Yeah. Because all my life I looked for love from other people. And all I really needed was the love of God. But I just had to have a man, somebody's man. And the things that I was doing in life is like God, you know how the old folks say, just sit you down, gonna sit you down. So he sat me down. So now, moving forward to where I am now, I'm good.
So, did that experience help you to learn how to deal with or to be better in your family relationships, like your
Yeah,
siblings, your
yeah,
mother?
yeah, yeah. My relationship that I have now with God, it's like I just said earlier, I went back to what I know. See, I already knew who God was. I already knew the word of God. I knew the do's and the don't, but I was like a rebellious child. I'm going to do shit my way. That's how I felt. So once I got it, I kept it, and I'm trying to keep it together. Because where I'm at now, I haven't always been there.
Okay, so before we move to the now,
Mm-hmm.
kind of tell the people like your relationships with the men, like how you were, like really him, how him was with
Yeah, I
the
was,
men.
when I had a man, I was good. Good to him. I used to treat the niggas like they was God.
And when they didn't behave,
No, I was, yeah. I was terrible. I was horrible. And I never did like a weak, I guess we call them weak men. I didn't like a weak man. But it had a few that didn't show me. Beat me down at the church. Yeah, it
you
had a
don't
few.
share that experience with them.
It's fine.
Okay, tell them
So
what happened
everyone,
at the
people
church.
don't know that me and Kendra became good friends because I was dating her brother and my sister was dating her other brother. So there's two different brothers. That ain't the same brothers.
Yeah.
And when I met the family, we all became like one big happy family. To this day, we still one big happy family. So I was dating your brother and somebody else man, and we just, oh my God, it was horrible. It was horrible. But the way that we became close is because I was going with my daughter's. I was going with my daughter's daddy, and I was going mess around with your brother, and I used to get my baby daddy to bring me to your house. You remember that?
Yeah, I
I
remember.
was a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, that's why I want them to know. We building it up because
Yeah.
I want them to know.
Right.
I really want them to know the full.
Mhm. And that's how we became. But the funny thing about it is that I still don't know to this day what made me think I was that bitch to just bring that. But I used to do that. I used to get him to drop me off
Drop you off
at
and
y'all
pick you
house,
up.
16th Street, huh?
No,
11th
it was on
Street.
11th Street. He was saying 16th Street was his spot,
Mhm.
but we was on 11th Street.
Yeah, I remember that. Oh my God.
And even once you start dating your daughter's father, you still came around.
I still.
We didn't get upset with you.
Mhm. And we just, it just wow. Yeah.
Okay, so you learn to love yourself,
Mhm.
and you started to change your life and your way of thinking. And had you started any business endeavors at that time?
No.
Okay, so well, let's just pick up there. What happened once you learned to love yourself? What did you start doing?
I prayed a lot. I pulled away from a lot of people and I just started staying to myself. Um, but I was working and I was very uncomfortable where I was working. Um, so I ended up calling my manager one day and we had a talk. And I won't discuss what we talked about. And then I went home and I would pray. And I was praying. And I used to always go home in the evening time. It was me by myself in my apartment. And when I would go home, I would watch podcasts. But I had one favorite one that I would always watch, and it was Trapping Anonymous. So I was sitting, and I'm saying to myself, now Henrietta in the back of her head was saying, I'm so sick of this fucking job. I'm going to get, I'm sick of this job. I'm sick of the people. I'm sick of the children. I'm sick of the bitches. I'm sick of, I'm just being real. That's how I felt. So it was about 10 minutes later, and I got a knock on the door. It was my son-in-law, and me and him jam, like we jam. And I said, come here, Marlo. He said, yes, ma'am, Miss Henrietta, what you got? I said, I think I want to do a podcast. And he gets like, okay, Miss Hearn, I think you can do that because you're good with talking with people and a lot of people fuck with you. And I was like, okay. So I ended up going to Brooklyn, New York to do a podcast at Trapping Anonymous with Cristal. After I came back, a couple of months later, it's like all out of the blue, I just said, I'm going to quit this fucking job. I quit. I started working for myself. That was with the daycare, D&D Family Child Care Service. It's an in-home child care. It's mine. A couple of months later, I thought, before I did anything, I prayed. Through a whole year, I prayed about my podcast. I was saying to myself, I want to do this, but I don't know how I'm going to do X, Y, Z. So then I started doing my research, and I started praying more, and God just started showing me, this is what you need to do, this is how you need to do it. So I built it from the ground up.
Okay, so you can kind of take them back because maybe it wasn't your vision at the time, but you had started doing videos.
Yeah.
And one of the videos
Right.
really made you like.
I went
really,
viral.
really
Yes, the Tony Seafood video.
Yeah. So tell them about that when you started that.
Oh my God, what year? I don't even remember what year that was. Before I started to do anything, that's when I was still married. I started to do videos. So in the videos, I would give my version of whatever I see and my way of seeing it. And I said, when you go to Tony Seafood, it's have a man in a red shirt and he be standing behind the people fixing the food. I think I said like he a deputy dog, and that video went viral. I mean, it's a couple videos that I did went viral.
The Southern Parade.
Yeah, that's
the Parade. How it was.
Yeah. So all of them went viral.
Yeah. So you kind of started. You didn't know. You didn't have the vision at the time.
Right.
But it was already in.
Right.
It was already in.
Right.
You started that.
Right.
And what happened with that? You just stopped doing the videos?
When I was going through my divorce, a lot of stuff that I enjoyed doing, I just stopped doing it. It's like a heartbreak will make you do some shit that you don't want to do, and some shit that you was doing, you would just stop doing it. So I just stopped. I stopped doing my arts and crafts. I stopped doing videos. All I was doing was crying and praying and praying and crying.
Let's talk about your children.
Okay.
The oldest.
Damon. My son.
Okay. Let's talk about Damon.
Okay.
You go from childhood to adulthood.
So, Damon was born December the 22nd, 1991. He's the firstborn boy. Motherfucker was bad. He was hard-headed, but he had a good heart. A good heart. And from the time that I can remember from him being a little boy until him actually getting killed. If he fucked with you, he fucked with you. And if he was going to stand in front of you, he wasn't going to stand on side of you. So he was protected by anything that he loved. So my son spent most of his life in jail. From the age of 13 all the way until he was a couple of months before I want to say maybe about a year before he got murdered. And he had a big heart, but he was a man that lived about his respect. He said he was going to live by it or he was going to die about it. And that's what happened.
Okay, now, Danisha, your daughter.
Yeah. So Danisha is I got one daughter. She's my one and only daughter. And we close. We like that. Like yeah.
What type of child is
Danisha? Danisha, half crazy. No, but Danisha has a good heart. Both of my kids got a good heart, and I want to say they got that from me. Not saying that their daddy fucked up, but I'm just saying that's what I think some of the characteristics come from me, because she has a good heart, but she's growing out of it, but she don't give a fuck. Like, I'll beat you up if you my friend, or you gonna beat me up, and we'll be back cool later. That's just the way she is.
Yeah, I think in a lot of ways you produce yourself twice.
Uh-huh.
In a lot of ways, you produce yourself twice. Like, everything not the same, but for the most part, a lot like it was the same. The beginning, what y'all stood for, what y'all stood on, and y'all heart, your love that you have for people.
Right.
So, tell us what happened with Damon.
Damon got murdered February 13th, 2021. Him and his second.
You don't have to go into the whole story. If you
second born child, which is his one and only son, Damon Curtis Jr. The mother and him will get into it all the time. Now let me give you real on this here. It wasn't because of nothing she was always doing. But that motherfucker was sneaky. He was a hoe, and he was a honest hoe. Go out and do shit and then go back and tell her. But anyway, they would break up, get back together, break up, get back together. So they broke up. She had company. My son went to his house. Ended up getting in his house. When her and the guy pulled up, my son was walking, but ran out the house. The guy was getting in the car. And my son opened the guy door and he shot my son 5 times and killed him at his own house.
Okay, and let's just let the people know this. Because we've talked about how he was, and, younger and older. Everybody didn't get a chance to see the change
in Damon.
So he was rowdy, but he had simmered down.
Yeah.
Somewhat. He still was going to do what he had to do about his respect.
Right.
He was going to do that.
Right.
Tell him about that person, like
the change Damon. He got So I'll tell you this. Okay, this is what me and him had a conversation. So one morning he called me. He say, "Mama, I went to church this morning," and I say, "That's good." I say, "Well, how you went?" And he say, "I walked." I say, "Well, what you walked for?" He said to me, and I didn't realize that until after his death. He said when he opened up the door, it's like he can hear the church music. So the church that he went to was over there in front of Brookstown, across the street from the Mobile.
And where was he living?
In Glen Oaks. So he didn't hear it. No. He heard it, but that was God getting him prepared. Yeah, okay. So, I remember him telling me that he wanted to move. He didn't want to be down here no more. That he really, really loved this young lady and that he wanted to marry her. And I seen the change in him. But I didn't recognize until after he got murdered is that some of the things that he was saying and some of the things that he was doing, God was just getting him prepared to go home.
Yeah, I don't think none of us realized that.
Yeah, for you to say.
Everybody realized it afterwards.
Like afterward.
Yeah, because we'll go back to things he said. We'll go back to how he handled situations. Because it used to be you can call him, or he found out something going on, he gonna call you.
Right. Oh, he used to be with the shit. Yeah, he used to be with the shit. Yeah, he'll go do something and I'll be like, Damon, you did that? He'll be like, yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Then he got to like, don't worry about it. Ain't gonna do you nothing.
Right.
Ain't worry about nobody.
Right.
It's gonna be good.
Yeah.
But everybody didn't get to see that or experience it.
Right.
So I want to make sure we didn't leave that out.
Right.
So, okay. That day, I remember you knew he was leaving, and you was trying to call for somebody to stop him. So his sister went looking for him, right?
Danisha and Gab. Remember my sister Gay.
And what happened?
When Gay say she got to him, he got in the car, and she said He got out the car, and she remembered him walking down the street. And she said he was walking fast, and I don't know how soon after. It was like really soon after he got killed.
Yeah, and so Danisha came,
Mhm.
and she was able to see her brother.
Yeah, she found him dead.
And she reacted.
Yeah, she reacted.
I
She
just want
went
people to know what
yeah,
all happened, and what you living with today,
right.
what the aftermath,
So
what you was left with.
I remember calling her, and I say, "Where my boy at?" And she said, "Man, that nigga killed my brother." No, she said no. She said that nigga killed mama. That nigga killed your boy. That nigga killed my brother. And then I was on the phone with her, and I could just hear like a whole bunch of like glass, and I could hear her howling. So I didn't know at the time that she had went into the house and yeah, just reacted. So the strangest thing about that is that at the moment I felt a lot of I was angry, I was mad, I was bitter. But I always remember saying this is that I forgave the man that killed him. When I talked to God, I said that. When I had devilish thoughts on my mind, I would say that. I always said that. I didn't even realize that the next day I posted on Facebook that I forgave him. So,
Well, I was gonna take you back to because you said you was mad, you was angry, you was bitter, and maybe the day that it happened on the scene, you just don't remember, or you was probably still in shock.
I remember the
But we
scene.
got upset.
Yeah, everybody was
You was telling
upset.
us
Calm
calm
down.
down.
I remember
Don't do
that.
that.
And I was like,
Now,
everybody wanted to go to war, and I was like, no, don't do that.
and I say that because when I asked him to talk, when you asked you to talk about how you were in relationships and how you was as a person, a young person, your normal reaction
I was on
was
go.
to tear it up.
Yeah.
But in that moment, so sometimes you don't even realize that your change has happened until God puts you in a situation so that you can truly see that He has given you what you prayed for.
Right.
Because you know it, and you know you prayed for it and asked for it.
Right.
But how you gonna know it if you don't have to go through it?
Right.
To use what you've asked Him to give you.
Right.
Give me self-control.
Right.
Give me patience. Give me peace.
Right.
So you have to go through situations.
Yeah, and I had that. I had that doing it, and to the point, I had people say, "You all right?" I said, "Yeah, I'm all right." I, I felt that after I knew when my transformation began and how I began my relationship with God, when it actually started taking effect, now I understand that. And now I understand, oh, this is why I did this, or this is why I did that. Because for somebody to kill my one and only child, my one and only son, I apologize, and me actually get a chance to I actually prayed for this young man. I asked God to have mercy on him. I asked for so much for him. And then for me to actually get to see him.
Tell them about that.
So I actually got to see the young man that killed my son. I was on my way to work. I stopped every morning, give me a pack of cigarettes and some coffee. When I went in the store, it had a young man in the store. It had a lot of people in the store, but I remember that one particular young man. He say, "Hey, how you doing?" And I was in the cooler. I say, "Hey," but in my mind, I'm like, "It's the nigga that killed my son." So I fixed the coffee. Excuse me. And I walked on side of him. He was standing at the register. And he had his head down and he was talking. And I said, hey, you know who I am? And he said, no, ma'am. And I said, I'm their mama. And he just looked at me. He looked at me eye to eye. And he said, I just want to, like he kept trying to tell me. And I said, I just want, and I got real close to him and I looked him in the eye and I said, I just want to let you know I forgive you for killing my one and only son. And he kept saying, it wasn't supposed to happen. It wasn't supposed to happen. He was trying to, and every time he would say something, I would cut him off. And I said, I just want you to know that I love you. I said, give me a hug. And I told him again that I forgive him for killing my son. And he said to me, Mama, who catching hell? He said, I'm about to go back to jail. And I say, you just need to pray. And it's like, to me, when I thought back on it, after I went to work, it's like me and him was talking and like everybody else was frozen. But like, look, to me, it said like everybody was just that eye, like this here. And it had, when he left out the store, I remember some people saying, some man told me God got a blessing with your name on it. You just told this nigga you forgave him. A bunch of people was talking to me. But I only did what I prayed and asked God to give me the strength to do.
And so I feel like for your life, the type of person you were, and you kind of like you got to show me type of person.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was the way it had to happen because you were saying it, you were feeling it, but to see him and be in his presence, to hear that I know would have attacked him.
Mm-hmm.
But
to
him realize that you had prayed and asked God to.
Yeah, people coming to me.
Create you to be.
Yeah.
It was different. Do you remember me calling you that day after your Facebook post? You remember?
Yeah, I remember you calling me.
Because I was.
And I remember you crying, and you was on the phone with me. We was crying, and I remember.
Because I've always been the humble one, and the one that didn't want to, try to avoid the fight and not. And I couldn't get where you was. Like I just could not get there. I couldn't even stay on the phone with you. I just let you start talking after that because I would get mad with you.
Oh, you was mad at me because I forgave him?
No, because you was telling me to calm down, and I had caused you to cuss. And
you wanted to fuss at me?
No, I want to fuss about him. I want to still be mad with him, and you wouldn't allow me.
Yeah. My daughter quite often tell me, this ain't where we were supposed to be going, but this where God want us to go. She always say, man, I don't give a fuck if you do forget that nigga for killing my brother. Man, when a nigga kill that nigga, I'ma celebrate. I say, don't say that.
Yeah, no.
And I say, don't say that. So I had to learn to tell her this here. Whatever you feeling, you have the right to feel that, but you gotta pray about it. Because who I am and the relationship because God has a different relationship with all of his children. And God got me where he wants me to be at. Now, when I got where God wanted me to be at, I didn't realize it until after that I was my own worst enemy. So I was packing so much shit on. Molestation, rape, uh, this nigga, that. I was packing all of this shit on. I was walking around with this shit on my back like a book set. But I didn't realize. Yeah, I was my own worst enemy. Bro, I was my own worst enemy. It's like when I gave up that I don't give a fuck attitude, God's like, I'm going to show you. Like the business that I stand on, I got God in front of me. And people don't realize that. They just see you now and they think you just got it like that. But all the things that I have in life, because I grew up without shit. I ain't have shit. I used to have to wear my cousin's drawers.
And that's what I wanted people to kind of get the
Like,
essence of.
mhm.
Because, like I said, and it's not just here, but I know here it's bad. When people say, I know her, I know her.
No, they don't
And
know
people
me.
have no idea what
They don't
you
know
have
me.
been through, what you have held on to, the things, because from where you came from and all you've been through, I wanted people to see how important it was too. Because some people don't even think it's a big deal that you forgave him.
No.
I'm gonna tell you why I feel like it is. Because that was when I could see that young man in a different light. After I talked to you, and I said, she ain't give up. She ain't let me have my way. She didn't let me feel what I felt because it wasn't even good for me. Because you've been through and you've been delivered.
Right.
And it helped me to see the truth.
Right.
And I feel in my heart today that young man was afraid of me.
Yeah. Like it was like a kill or be killed situation. Like because if he didn't kill their mom was gonna kill him. And I can say that now. I mean, it ain't like they can charge me with nothing because my son dead. I'm just saying, if I know as well as you know, as well as the people that know my son, knew how he was.
And when I say afraid, I don't mean afraid like scared. I mean in a situation where it's save your life or lose your life.
Yeah.
So if I'm afraid that I'm about to lose my life, I'm not just giving it up.
Right.
So I feel in my heart that that's what he felt, but I couldn't get there until after, you forgave him and how you stood on your forgiveness with him.
Right. And I stand firm on that, but don't get me wrong, I'm still human and I still have my moments where I be like, I don't know if when a little devil be in my bed, like, or sometimes I might wake up in the morning and be like, damn, a nigga ain't killed this nigga yet. Then I have to ask God to forgive me. Because that's not where my heart is. Right. That's my next year reactions to who I am, because I'm still Henrietta, but I'm a better version of me. So then I have to ask God to forgive me. I'll be like that.
That God created us with all those emotions.
Right.
So He know we were gonna use them.
Right.
So you get a pass. You get to be mad. You
get
to be sad. You get to be angry. You like you said, it's a matter of how you deal with it.
Right. Yeah.
What you do with all that.
Right.
Okay, so we were talking about all the different podcasts that you went on, and they all wanted you to talk about the same
forgiveness.
So tell me a little bit about how you feel about forgiveness.
I feel like forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is for me, not for the other person.
And what was it hard or?
It wasn't hard. It was just like something that you have to do. I mean, that's something that I know I had to do because everybody is different. So I did it because I know that I had to do that.
Okay, and forgiveness, all of the forgiveness you had to go through, talk about, it led up to something. It birthed something in you.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
It birthed a new me. The something was the same me, but a lot of different. I don't even like different. Like I am different than who I were. I'm not short tempered. I'm not long winded for bullshit. I'm not. I would say I'm not a clubber because I don't club, but I will go to a party or something. I'm like a different me because what I was headed for was self-destruction with my own self.
It made your experiences and what it did for you, it made you want to share with everybody. And how did you decide to share that with everybody?
I decided to share it by going to different podcasts. I did one in Georgia. I did one in Brooklyn, New York. I did another. I can't remember all the ones that I've done, but I wanted to mainly share that story with everyone so they can know that it's okay to forgive people for whatever they have done. And not only did I forgive him, it's like I laid all of my burdens down with God. Different things that have happened to me in life, like molestation, rape, being kidnapped. Like, I had so much anger built up in me from the things that had happened to me over the years. And was going through my transformation of getting myself together. Because remember I told you about the bad divorce?
Yeah.
And all the shit I done before that. And so I had, and things like how I was reaping what I had sowed. And when I started to take accountability for the things that I had done and start asking God to forgive me and, to lead me in the right path, it's just like, it's nothing. It's nothing for me to forgive somebody. I mean, I even find myself, not to cut you off, but sometimes I find myself, when somebody call me with he say, she say, I'll be like, oh, well, y'all got to figure that out. Versus me being like, oh, girl, you need to, X, Y, Z, the person that I was, I don't want none of my grandkids to be her.
So, you wrote a book?
Yes.
About forgiveness?
Yes, ma'am.
So, a little bit about the book.
Well, my book is about forgiveness. My book tells, I'll give you a brief description about from the day my son got murdered, from the days before, even months before he got murdered, and things that occurred after. And the biggest part is the forgiveness.
Okay, so where can we get that book?
On Amazon Kit.
And the name of the book is?
A Mother's Journey Towards Healing Her Soul.
Okay, so anybody looking for the book, you can go to Amazon.
Yes.
Do you have any on hand?
Yes, I have some on hand. If you would like to purchase a book for me, you can email truthtelling247@gmail.com.
Okay, so the book, now you have the podcast, will it be doing all of the truth telling?
All of it.
Okay, what type of people? You're trying to interview, give us a little bit about what the truth telling podcast.
I'm gonna be interviewing rappers. What is it called? The LGBT community. Teachers, principals.
Pretty much everybody.
If anybody want to get an interview, come over here. But you got to come over here. Yeah, you got to tell the truth. Yeah, don't come over here with the bullshit. I need you to come over here telling the truth. Yeah. And
so if anybody wants to be on your podcast, how do they, you taking referrals or they reach out to you?
They can email the Truth Telling Podcast at 247@gmail.com.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there you have it. At the Truth Telling Podcast, so you can come on here to tell your truth.
You can tell the truth. Don't come on here with them lies. Yeah, tell the truth and shame the devils. Because remember, people need to understand that your truth is your truth. So it's always their side, your side, and then there's the truth. Yeah. So pray before you come over here, because I need you to come with the truth. Okay?
And we're going to get it out.
Well, we're going to get, we're going to get it all out. Yeah, we're going to get the truth out. Yeah.
Don't come here unless you come and tell the truth.
Unless you come and tell the truth. You come with the bullshit, take your ass somewhere else. Turn your phone on, go live, do something. Don't come over here with that. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in to the Truth Telling Podcast with Miss Keeping It Real. And I would like for all of you all to give my special guest, Kendra Lee Jackson, Miss Exclusive, a virtual round of applause. Thank you, Kendra.
Yeah, I hope to be back.
You will. And will. Yeah, come tell it. Why not tell it at the Truth Telling Podcast? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me on all social media platforms. Thank y'all.